Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, and Clash Out, sorta. It's in beta. So for those of you that don't know, we played a little bit of Clash when it was first put into alpha state, and at the time it was broken. It was broken beyond belief. As expected of an alpha, I've had a little bit of time to mess around with the closed beta, which has been similarly broken, but it looks a lot better and there's a lot fewer issues. So today, the beta went live to lower tier backers. So now, rather than just playing against the one or two people that have alpha access, I have the capacity to play against a lot of other people. I'm just going to show you real quick some of the functionality of the client, and then we're going to hop in and play a game. So as you can see, I have a couple of decks built. I'm still checking out this Broken AF one, which is basically just Earth Nexus with a small Thunder package, what you would expect to play in a format with a few guys in it. From what I've heard so far, what is kind of broken is the Ascension mechanic. There's not a ton of guys you actually want to ascend into, but the ones that are, it's kind of rough. We are still missing a great number of cards, but they are trickling in not in release order. So they're trying to get them all, including Moonrise, up at the same time, I think. The number one thing that you may notice is not yet in the game is some complex cards like Cryoling and most of the solar element. Additionally, Poison Tipped Arrow, I've been told it doesn't actually work, but I mean, I guess we'll see that. The number one thing I'm excited to see is if I can play against a Galaxy player. So let's start now, and I'll just highlight what's going wrong and when it occurs. If you are super new to Elestrals, obviously this will be probably a little less understandable until I do that. First off, I do want to say I am excited about, just the setup of the board. Already it looks so much better than it has in the past. This is not a keep. Wow. Okay, well. All right, 2 to the zone. Oh, so much better. Oh, so much better. 1,000 times better. That's like the most key. Like I would be hard pressed to think of 5 cards that are better than that. So we're both using the same field here. Lines up pretty nice. It looks good. You can see the movement on the screen still looks pretty cool. Over here we have, just above my head, a little toggle a la Master Duel, as well as now there is a particle effect that shows whose turn it is, which is nice. Mates are not responsive yet, but they are just chilling. They have their little base over there. Let's go Astrabbit. Still don't like all of the individual things that show up and kind of take over the entire screen like this. This menu still looks really bad, but it is functional, as you can see. Definitely want the Elechick here, so we'll confirm that. Then we will go ahead and set to. I mean, I guess we're going to find out pretty quick if this Poison Tipped Arrow actually does anything, huh? And since I have it on, you can see that I have pass response as an option. I imagine if I go to auto, I will just go like pass main phase, and then it auto passes end phase and stuff. I'm going to keep it on just because I want the most opportunities to interact with an opponent. And with the Gorgon's Gaze set, I want the ability to be able to do like a battle step thing. But you get it. Smoltuga coming down. So probably the best thing to be playing in this early, no, definitely not worth, early kind of Elestrals metagame is going to be some form of 5s, right? Like just a bunch of really well-statted guys. Kind of irritating that just by virtue of not including the Moonrise stuff so early, or maybe you're playing Warmight. You know what? Maybe you're playing Warmight. Is there a log? I can't find one. Wow, that's ridiculous. Looks like they are going end here, which is really great news for me, because I will cast the hell out of this Eddy. Maybe it's worth casting the Elechick to get into a position where, like, I can actually... Yeah, let's cast the Elechick. Like, any scenario in which the Elechick actually gets to resolve, I think is, like, killer. Here we get to go for 2, because I will waste a Gorgons to protect the Astrabbit here. We're getting the Gorgons pop up every time just because I'm being greedy. Let's go grab Demeter, I think. Better than it was, but it's still not perfect. I think that menu's a little unintuitive. I know it because I've played it a couple of times. And this scenario is a little unintuitive too, but I think that's just the rules of Elestrals, where you have to enchant it first, then activate its on-field effect in order to enchant it a couple of times again. I wish that was made a little more clear, but it's really only going to matter once, just because of the fact that this is such a common occurrence in Elestrals. So let's go for the Demeter effect here, and we'll put it on the Elechick. Pump him up to 7. And of course, this is why Elechick was limited, is because he comes down as a 7 and immediately contests everything. Let's switch the Astrabbit to attack, and let's try going to combat. Walk over the small Tuga here. You can see we're way down in spirits, but, like, we are so far up in board, obviously. They're like, really? Are you sure you don't want a Gorgons? No, I'm pretty sure. I know it looks bad that I am, like, seeing the Gorgons every single step, but I really just do want to be able to have that option, you know? Maybe if there was something other than the Gorgons flashing on screen in terms of a trigger, that would be a little better. I will skip this again. And then we will just, you know what, let me turn it off and just go to end phase here. Let's try toggling. We'll toggle when we want to use it in battle step. See how that functionality works. I mean, so far so good. When we were playing on stream, getting to this point even was kind of a disaster. We were having trouble with guys that summon from deck, with cards that have complex stats like Galaxy. But this is looking pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. There's a Necruff, unsurprising. So the Necruff here, I think I'm not going to PTA because it's such a sitting duck for both the Eddy and anything we activate. They're going to want a Necruff over the Elechick just because, like, it makes the most sense, right? We have a back row. Now I have to consider actually pulling off the Demeter and using a Gorgons here. With the back row, I think they might actually go for 2 back row. Jesus. They're going for the Astrabbit. I'm going to attack step Gorgon's Gaze here. We will go 1, 2. And because we do it in attack step rather than battle step, that'll cancel out the attack, ideally. Okay. This really makes me want to just re-enchant the rabbit. Alter is so unbelievably crazy here. Probably the best draw remaining in my deck. Let's go for the Edward and attack. Trigger the effect of the Edward. This will pull out a Gorgons if they have it. But even if they have it, then we get to pump the Elechick. Remember, Eddy doesn't target it. It picks at resolution. So this plays around, I think, everything. Let's try the Astrabbit in here. See if we can't force a Tsunami out of them. We can't. They're deciding how to do this, and then they'll take 2. Puts them to 15 to our 10. Again, the thing about 5s is you can really stay at a high life total for a long time. That said, we are kind of completely in control of this game at present. Like, understand that despite the fact that they're going to be at 15 to our 10, 5 of those spirits, that's 1 on the Demeter maybe? Yeah, 2 on the Demeter and 3 on the critters are represented on field. So you can't think about it in terms of, like, we're down 5. It's like our 5 are represented on field. If this field is outed, then we're going to be in fucking trouble, right? Obviously. Just go end phase here. So we know Warmite in hand, which I think probably telegraphs another set card. They don't have, like, a ton going on. I'm considering using this Altar of Stars to Nexus off the Elechick. Going for Ambro, yeah. I'd expect those set cards to probably be bluffs. Yeah, we obviously aren't going to alter in response to that. So they go back up to 17 here. They are kind of up in cards. They have 6 to our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I lied. They're not up in cards. I don't know. I've lost many games from this position. We're going to move to here. And then we're going to swap this guy to defense. None of that was intuitive, by the way. Like, definitely Altar of Stars needs to be way, way more clear about what exactly they're doing. I don't want any of this, to be honest. I guess I probably want Demeter the most. Ugh, I kind of want Mudlet. The value in this Astrabbit is going to be I get to shuffle my deck. Alright, the Elechick gone here. Vis. Okay, so this is where things are going to get hairy. I'm going to go for the Vis. We don't have protection for the Astrabbit, but I think it's probably worth it to get 2 in. Alright, so the thing about Vis is he summons from deck, and as of yesterday, that was not working. So we're going to learn together. The Ambro pull off the Rabbit could... Like, that's a really valuable time to use the Rabbit. We could swap the Rabbit to defense and Ambro to get back all of our shit. I'm going to do that. I really do not want this Rabbit to just go down for 2 while we're this far back in spirits. I think we want mostly Terratluses. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to pull the Leviathan back, too. We are playing so few Leviathans, I think that's probably worth. That button, the confirm, the hitbox on that is kind of screwy, I will admit. You've seen me kind of whiff it twice now. Go to battle here. Let's try Vis over. It's asking me to pass damage step. I would like to trigger Vis. Yeah, this is what happened last time. Invalid selection. Yeah. So it's only letting me cast for Vis from my hand, which obviously is not where you're supposed to cast from Vis from. Okay, well, valuable that it's a 5-attack guy regardless. When we were playing yesterday, this was kind of where things went off the rails. Like, Vis specifically was so clearly bugged that it screwed things up. I think it's very possible that happens again. That, like, by going Vis here, we now cannot activate these cards in hand because the game is trying to read them as both in our hand and in our deck because they appeared for the Vis. We should have just not activated it. May have locked ourselves in that regard. 3 sets here. Man, they're going in. course, we don't have protection for whatever. We could, like, if they go neck ruff, we could PTA. That could be, like, a valuable PTA, even in a position where, like, we can't actually resolve the PTA. Warmite coming down. Gives Zargon -4. That's fine. I think that's okay with us. Like, eating the Viscerus here is probably a net good. I wonder if we have an option to PTA here. I might do it. No, probably not. We'd prefer just this to happen. I also didn't see an opportunity to PTA. Equilinx is so crazy. That's like one of the craziest things we could have possibly drawn. Let's go for the trigger here. We'll Nexus from the meter. Put it on the Lynx. Lynx effect. That's the new one. The other two clearly aren't like anything relevant, so... What do we get? I don't even get to see it. A shield. Shield never resolves, dog. You should know that by now. Let's just go combat. We'll try Edward in. Yep, nice. Try Lynx for 2. If they have a 5, this is like... It's actually fine. We can PTA just to decrease it for a turn and then go Mudlet in order to swap it to defense. Alright, so we found one bug in the Viscerus for sure. Like, that's a big deal. But so far everything else is functioning. Which is, you know, again, impressive. Nice. Easy victory. Thank you, Caster Mushroomy. I would have liked to continue playing it out in order to see if anything was going to screw up over the course of the game. Routinely, we get into positions where, like, near the end of the game, it becomes impossible to play anything. But I haven't obviously seen those from the new beta because this is our first game in it. So, just in terms of thoughts before I go through it, I would say I am really, really impressed with the progress that they have made in really just like a month and a half. Like, having played from alpha, I was like, oh, this is like 2 years out from even remotely playable. And now we've got, like, I mean, if you look at the cards that are available right now, it's not all of them, but it is most of the relevant ones prior to Moonrise. So, like, you have most of the stuff that would be relevant in the game available at present. The only problem is, like, there are some outstanding bugs that make it hard to play. Really, really excited to see this become polished over the course of the beta. And honestly, I guess I was selling the Pixelborn guys short. This is really stellar for the position that it's in. You know, I don't want to sell it too high, though, because still a long way to go, clearly. You know, still a lot of functionality to implement, a lot of ban lists to implement, like Drataya is still legal, for instance, and a lot of even basic UI stuff to clean up. Like, all these buttons look kind of, you know, like a World of Warcraft release. The card backs are very beautiful in game, but on this screen look pretty rough. And the boards are really cool. I wish there was a little more functionality to them. I like that one a lot more, actually. And that they were, like, at least a little bit animated, if that makes sense. Clash Pass in store, still not available. My understanding is that the store is going to be a place to buy paper cards, merch, and the Clash Pass, and then the Clash Pass is going to be, like, the monetizable aspect of it. Leaps and bounds in terms of a month. Excited to see where it will be in another. See you tomorrow, I think, for a TST. That's right, we're uploading again. Bada bing.